So birds have a very interesting respiratory system that is actually more efficient than ours. And the reason why for the increased efficiency is the way that the air flows over the membrane. So instead of having alveoli, which are blind-ended pouches, they have what are called parabronchi. And the parabronchi allow for unidirectional movement of the air. So when we breathe, we have to force air down. We force it into our lungs. Well, we'll talk about ventilation, but it goes into your lungs, right? And then when we breathe out, there might be some residual air left in our alveoli. We don't ever get that air back out, and that is called dead air. And it is going to decrease the diffusion, the rate of diffusion of your gases. And so the reason why birds, our respiratory system is so efficient is that they have parabronchi that allow for unidirectional flow of air through the lung, or we'll put over the respiratory surface. Yeah, over they're thin, right? They are moist, but instead of being shaped like alveoli, they are tubes. So that means actually that it takes 2 inhalations and exhalations for them to actually get the air. So if I inhaled my air, then I'd have to exhale and inhale and exhale again before I actually get that air out. But this is advantageous to birds because they also have air sacs. So the air sacs hold the air. We have the posterior air sac that holds the air and the anterior air sac. And this actually provides lift, right? So if we're thinking about when you inhale and you lift your lungs, you actually fill up with air and you actually become a little bit lighter, right? We know that because of buoyancy in water. If you inhale, you become more buoyant, right, in the water versus exhaling so you can sink to the bottom of the pool. So these actually aid in flight because they create lightness, buoyancy. Okay. So we inhale, it goes to the posterior air sac and it starts to move through the lungs. And then I would inhale again, and that movement of the air then forces the air through the lungs in unidirectional. Then it goes to the anterior air sac, and then it comes out. So from the anterior air sac, notice it doesn't go back through the lung. It actually just comes out and out through the nostrils. So this is a special adaptation, and you might ask yourself, what variable does this influence? Does it influence the surface area? Does it influence little d? No, not the distance. Does it influence delta p? Yes. And so this would influence the delta p variable because we have no dead air, no deoxygenated air left in the lungs after the exhalation. All the air moves out. So in us, we have to breathe really deeply to get all that air, the residual air, out of our lungs.